Dhritarashtra said, guys, this is Pratyush and today I'm going to be just reciting Bhagavad Geeta with you guys. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after gathering on the holy fields of Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did my sons and sons of Pandava do? Sanjay said, on observing the Pandava army standing in the military formation, King Duryodhana approached his teacher Dronacharya and said the following words. Duryodhana said, respected teacher, behold the army of the sons of Pandava so expertly arrayed for battle by your own gifted disciple, son of Drupad. Behold, in this army, behold, in their ranks are many powerful warriors like Yudhan, Virat, and Drupad, wielding mighty bows and equal military powers to Bhim and Arjun. There are also accomplished heroes like Drishtiketu, Chekitan, the gallant king of Kashi, Purujit, Kanti, Bhoj, and Shabi, all of the best of the men. In their ranks, they also have courageous Yudhyamanyu, the gallant Uttamaja, the son of Subhadra and son of Draupadi, who are all great warrior chiefs. Who best among Brahmins here to about a principal general on our side who are equally qualified to lead. These are I now recount unto you. Their personalities like yourself, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and Bhurishtava, who are ever victorious in battle. Also, there are many other heroic warriors who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. They're all skilled in the art of warfare and equipped with various kind of weapons. The strength of our army is unlimited and we are safely marshaled by the Grand Sire Bhishma. The strength of the Pandava army carefully marshaled by Bhima is limited. If I call upon all generals of Kaurava army now to give full support to Grand Sire Bhishma, even as you defend your respective strategic points. Then the grand old man of the Kuru dynasty, the glorious patriarch Bhishma, roared like a lion and blew his conch shells very loudly, giving joy to Duryodhan. There, after conches, kettle drums, bugles, trumpet, horns suddenly blared forth, and their combined sound was overwhelming. Then from with the Pandavas' army, was scattered, drawn by what first Madhav and Arjun blew their divine conch shell. Rishikesh blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjun blew his Devadatta. Bhima, the voracious eater and the performer of Herculean tasks, blew his mighty conch shell called Poundra. King Yudhishthira blew Ananta Vijaya, while Nakul and Sahadev blew Sughosh and Mani Pushpak. The excellent archer, the king of Kashi, the great warrior Sikandi, Dhrishtadhyumna, Virat, and invincible Satyaki, Drupad, the five sons of Draupadi, and the mighty armed Abhimanyu, sons of Subhadra, all blew their respective conches, O rulers of the earth. The terrifying sound thundered across sky and earth, shattered the hearts of his son, O Dhritarashtra. At that time, the son of Pandu, Arjun, who had insignia of Hanuman on the flag of his chariot, took upon his bows, seeing your son arrayed against them, O king. Arjun then spoke the following words to Sri Krishna. Arjun said, O infallible one, please take my chariot to the middle of both the armies so that I may look at the warriors arrayed for the battle, whom I must fight in this great combat. I desire to see those who have come here to fight on the side of evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra, wishing to please him. Sanjay said, O Dhritarashtra, having thus been addressed by Arjun, the conqueror of Sri Krishna, then drove the magnificent chariot between the two armies. In the presence of Bhishma, Dronacharya, and all the King Sri Krishna said, O Parth, behold the Kurus gathered here. Their Arjun could see him stationed in both the armies, his father, grandfather, teacher, maternal uncle, brother, cousin, son, nephew, grandnephew, friend-in-law, and well-wisher. Seeing all of his relatives present here, Arjun, the son of Kunti, was overwhelmed with compassion and with deep sorrow spoke the following word. Arjun said, O Krishna, seeing my own kinsmen arrayed for the battle here and intent on killing each other, my limbs are giving way and my mouth is drying up. My whole body shudders and my hair is standing on the end. My bow Gandhi is slipping from my hand. My skin is burning all over. My mind is squandering and whirling in confusion. I am unable to hold myself steady any longer. O Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon, I only see omens of misfortune. I do not foresee how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle. O Krishna, I do not desire victory, kingdom, or the happiness acquiring to it. Of what avail will be a kingdom, pleasure, or even life itself when the very person for whom we commit them are standing before us for the battle? Teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncle, grandsons, father-in-law, grandnephew, brother-in-law, other kinsmen are present here, staking their lives and riches. O Madhusudan, I do not wish to slay them even if they attack me. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, what satisfaction will be derived from the dominion over the worlds? What to speak of the earth? O maintainer of all living entities, what pleasure will be derived from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? Even though they might be the aggressors, sins will certainly come upon us if we slay them. Hence, it does not behoove us to kill our own kinsmen and cousins, the sons of Dhritarashtra, and the friend Madhav Krishna. How can we be happy? Let me go a bit further. Oh, teachers, yeah, their thoughts are overpowered by greed, and so they are to see no wrong in relating their relative or recurring the treachery upon friends. Yet Janardhan Krishna, why should we, who can clearly see the crime in killing our own kindred, do not turn away from the sin? When a dynasty is destroyed, traditions gets vanished, vanquished, and the rest of the family becomes involved in religion. What a preponderance of vice, O Krishna, the woman of the family becomes immoral, and from immorality of woman, O descendant of Vishnu, unwanted progeny are born. An increase in unwanted children that results in the hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family. Deprived of sacrificial offerings, the ancestor of such corrupt families also fall. Both of the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition thus give rise to the unwanted progeny. A variety of social and family welfare activities are ruined. O Janardhan Krishna, I have heard from the Lord that those who destroy family traditions dwell in hell for an indefinite period of time. Alas, how strange it is that we have set our minds to perform this great sin with horrifying consequences, driven by the desire for kingly pleasure. We are intent on killing our own kings, but it would be better if, with the weapon in our hands, son of the Trasta kill me, and unarmed, unresisting on the battle. Sanjay said. Speaking thus, Arjun cast aside his bow and arrows and sank into the seat of his chariot. His mind is in distress and overwhelmed with grief. Guys, just first chapter is done. It's a very nice chapter. Start second chapter in a minute. Just let me grab a coffee and then we'll start a second chapter as well. Namaskar. I'm trying to like reignite myself. 2026, 2025 was a bad year. Uh, it will be a good year. Oh, not sure. Break the matrix, huh? Shit. Beautiful the picture is, as and sad as well. This how we will be born so beautifully. And then eternal happy, then I was sad here. This is probably what I was. But I will transform this to this. Always be a starter, always be a student. Be more happy. The Sankhya Yoga, the yoga of analytical knowledge. Sanjay said, seeing Arjun overwhelmed with pity, his mind grew stricken and his eyes full of tears. Krishna spoke the following words. Supreme Lord said, my dear Arjun, how has this delusion overcome to you in this hour of peril? It is not befitting an honorable person. It leads not to higher abodes, but to disgrace, O path. It does not befit you to yield this unmanliness, cures pity, weaknesses of heart, and arise, O vanquisher of enemies. Arjun said, O Madhusudan, how can I in battle, shoot arrows in battle on men like Bhishma and Dronacharya who are worthy of my worship, or destroyer of enemies? It would be better to live in the world by begging than to enjoy life by killing these noble elders, who are my teachers. If we kill them, the wealth and pleasure we enjoy will be tainted with blood. We do not know which result of this war is preferable for us, conquering them or being conquered by them. Even after killing them, we will not desire to live. Yet they have taken aside so the sons of the Drashtra and now stand before us on the battlefield. I am confused about my duty and besieged with anxiety and faint-heartedness. I am your disciple and so surrendered unto you. Please instruct me what for certain what is best for me. I can find no means of drying away this anguish that is drying up my senses. Even if I win a prosperous, unraveled kingdom on the earth, or gain sovereignty like celestial gods, I will be unable to dispel this grief. Sanjay said, having spoken thus, Budrakesh, the chastiser of enemies, addressed Rishikesh. Govind, I shall not fight, and became silent. O Dhritarashtra! Thereafter, in the midst of both the armies, Shri Krishna smilingly spoke the following words to grief-stricken Arjuna. The Supreme Lord said, this is good. Document, yes. The Supreme Lord said, While you speak the word of wisdom, you are mourning for what is worthy for grief. The wise lament neither for the living nor the dead. Neither was there a time I do not exist, nor your all these kings, nor in future shall any of us cease to be. Just as embodied soul continuously passes from childhood to youth, from youth to old age, similarly at the time of the death, the soul passes into another body. The wise are not deluded by this. O son of Kunti, the contact between sense and sense object gives rise to fleeting perception of happiness and distress. They are non-permanent and come and go like winter and summer seasons. For descendant of Bharat, one must learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. O Arjun, the noblest among men, that person who is not affected by happiness and distress and remains steady in both becomes eligible for liberation. Of the transient there is no endurance, and of the eternal there is no cessation. This has been widely been observed and concluded by the seers of the truth after studying the nature of both. That which pervades the entire body know it to be indestructible. No one can cause the destruction of the imperishable soul. Only the material body is perishable. The embodied soul within it is indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal. Therefore, fight, O descendant of Bharat. Neither of them is in knowledge. The one who thinks soul can slay, the one who thinks soul can be the slain. For truly the soul neither kills nor it can be killed. The soul is neither born nor does it die, ever. Nor having one answer does it ever cease to be. The soul is without birth, eternal, immortal, and ageless. It is not destroyed when the body is destroyed. O Parth, how can one who knows the soul is to be imperishable, eternal, unborn, and unmutable kill anyone or seize any or cause anyone to kill? As a person sheds out worn out garments and wear one's new ones, likewise at the time of death, the soul casts off its worn out bodies and enter new one. Paper cannot shred the soul, nor can fire burn it. Water cannot wet it, nor it can winds dry it. Beautiful, isn't it? I'm still feeling sleepy, looks like. Yeah, the soul is unbreakable and incombustible. It can neither be dampened nor dried. It is everlasting in all places, unalterable, immutable, and primordial. The soul is spoken of as an invisible, inconceivable, and unchangeable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. If, however, you think the self is subject to constant birth and death, O mighty armed Arjun, even then you should not grieve like this. Death is certain for those who have been born, and rebirth is inevitable for one who has died. Therefore, you should not lament over the inevitable. O sign of Bharat, all created beings are manifest before birth, manifest in life, and are again manifest on death. So why grieve? Some see the soul as amazing, some describe it as amazing, and some hear of the soul as amazing, while others, beyond hearing, cannot understand it at all. O Arjun, the soul that dwells within the body is immortal. Therefore, you should not mourn for anyone. Besides considering your duty as a warrior, you should not waver. Indeed, for a warrior, there is no better engagement in fighting for upholding its righteousness. O Bharat, happy are the warriors to whom such opportunities to defend righteousness comes unsought, opening for them stairways to the celestial bodies. All right. If, however, you refuse to fight this righteous war, abandoning your social duty, you will certainly incur sin. People will speak of you as coward and deserter for respectable for person. Infamy is worse than the death. The great generals who hold you in high esteem will think of you fled the battlefield out of fear. Thus, you will lose the reputation and they will lose respect for you. Your enemies will defame and humiliate with these unkind words, disparaging your might. Alas, what could be more painful than that? If you fight, you will either be slain or on the battlefield or go to the celestial bodies, or you will gain victory and enjoy the kingdom of the earth. Therefore, rise with determination, O son of Kunti, and be prepared to fight. Fight for the sake of duty, treating alike happiness and distress, loss and gain, victory and defeat. Fulfilling your responsibility in this way, you will never incur sin. Hito, I have explained the Sankhya Yoga analytical knowledge regarding the nature of the soul. Now listen, O Partha, as I reveal the Buddhi Yoga, the yoga of intellect. When you work with such understanding, you will be freed from the bondage of karma. Working in this state of consciousness, there is no loss or adverse results. Even a little effort saves one from great danger. O descendant of Kuru, the intellect of those who are on this path is resolute and their aim is one pointed. But the intellect of those who are irresolute is many branched. Those with limited understanding get attracted to the flowery words of Vedas, which advocate obstreperous rituals for elevation to the celestial bodies and presume no higher principle is described in them. They glorify only the portion of Vedas that please their senses and perform pompous ritualistic ceremonies for attaining higher birth, opulence, sensual enjoyment, and elevation to the heavenly planet. With their minds deeply attached to the worldly pleasure and the intellect beautiful such things, they are unable to possess the resolute determination for success on the path of the God. The Vedas deal with three modes of material nature. Rise above these three modes to state of pure spiritual consciousness, freeing yourself from the dualities eternally freezing breath without concern for material gain and safety. Be situated in self. Whatever purpose served by small well of water is naturally served in all respects by the large lake. Similarly, one who realizes the absolute truth also fulfills the purpose of all the Vedas. You have right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to fruit of your action. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities and nor be attached to inaction. Be steadfast in the performance of your duty, O Arjun, abandoning attachment to success and failure. Such a community is called yoga. Seek refuge in the divine knowledge and insight, O Arjun. Discard reward seeking actions that are certainly inferior. One second, guys. Seek refuge in divine knowledge and insight, O Arjuna, and discard reward seeking action that are certainly inferior to the work performed with the intellect established in divine knowledge. Miserly are those who seek to enjoy the fruits of their work. One who prudently practice science of work without attachment can get rid of both bad and good reactions in this life itself. We must strive for yoga, which is for art of working skillfully in proper consciousness. The wise endowed with the quality of intellect about attachment to the fruit of action, his mind one to the cycle of life and death. By working such consciousness, they attain the state beyond all suffering. That's it. When your intellect crosses the quagmire of delusion, you will then inquire what is indifference to what has been heard and what is to be heard about enjoyment in this world and the next. When intellect ceases to be allured by the figurative sections of Vedas and remains steadfast in divine consciousness, you will then attain a state of perfect you. Arjun said, okay, Keshav, what is the disposition of those who are situated in this divine consciousness? How does an enlightened person talk? How does he sit? How does he walk? The O Parth, one discard ourselves with desire from craving the torment mind and become satisfied in the realization of self. Such a person is said to be transcendently situated, one who the mind remains undisturbed amidst misery, who does not crave for pleasure, who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind, wisdom. One who remains unattached under all conditions and is neither delighted by good fortune nor dejected by tribulation. He is a sage with perfect knowledge, one who is able to withdraw the senses of from their object, just as tortoise withdraws its limbs into its shell. Is established in divine wisdom. Aspirants may restrain the senses for the sense object, but the taste for sense object remains. However, even this taste ceases for those who realize the supreme. The senses are so strong and turbulent, O son of Kunti, that they can forcibly carry even if the mind of a person endowed with discrimination who practices to self-control. All right. practices self-control. They are establishing the perfect knowledge who subdue their senses and keep their mind absorbed in me. While contemplating on the object of senses, one develops attachment to them. Attachment leads to desire. From desire arises anger. Anger leads to clouding of judgment, and which results in bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, the intellect gets destroyed, and when the intellect is destroyed, one is ruined. But one who controls the mind and is free from attachment and aversion, even while using the object of senses, attain the grace of God. By divine grace comes the peace in which all sorrows end, and the intellect of such person is becomes tranquil and soon becomes firmly established in God. But an undisciplined person who has not controlled mind and senses can neither have resolute intellect nor a steady contemplation of God. One who never unites the mind with God, there is no peace. And how can one who lacks peace be happy? Just as strong wind sweeps a boat off its charted course on the water, even all the senses on which the mind focuses can lead the intellect astray. Therefore, one who has restrained the senses from their object, O mighty armed Arjun, is firmly established in transcendental knowledge. All being considered is day, is the night of ignorance for the wise, and what all creatures see as night is a day for the introspective sage. Just as ocean remains undisturbed by the incessant flow of water from a river merging into it, likewise the sage who is unmoved despite the flow of desirable object all around him attain the peace, and not the person who satisfies to satisfy desires. That person who gives up all material desires and lives free from a sense of greed, proprietorship, and egoism attains peace. O Parth, such is the state of enlightened soul that having attained one, yet one is neither again deluded, being established in the conscious even at the hour of death. One is liberated from a cycle of life and death and reaches the supreme abode of God. That concludes chapter number two, and I really lost my energy a lot. Like this year was really terrible. I'm trying to reframe everything, convert myself into the millionaire mindset that I used to have. 1 second, and then start at three. Next one. Third. The yoga of action. Well, just Janardhan, if you consider knowledge superior to action, then why do you ask to wage this terrible war? My intellect is bewildered by your ambiguous advice. Please tell me decisively the one path by which I may attain the highest good. Beautiful. Says Arjun says, so Janardhan, if you consider knowledge superior to action, then why? Also, oh my God. Like move my eyes here and there. Right? So let me make this like little lighter screen. Blue light. Yes, that's the first one. Yeah. Yeah. So, Janardhan, if you consider the knowledge to be superior to action, then why do you ask me to wage this terrible war? My intellect is bewildered by your ambiguous advice. Please tell me decisively the one path which I attain the highest good. The Lord said, O sinless one, the two paths leading to enlightenment were previously explained by me. The path of knowledge for those inclined toward contemplation, the path of work for those inclined toward action. One cannot achieve freedom from karmic reactions by merely abstaining from work, nor can one attain the perfection of knowledge by mere physical initiation. There is no one who can remain without action even for a moment. Indeed, all beings. There is no one who can remain without action even for a moment. Indeed, all beings are compelled to act by the qualities born out of material nature, the three gunas. Those who restrain the external organ of senses while content to dwell on sense object certainly delude themselves are called hypocrites. But those karma yogis who control this knowledge sense with mind origin and engage the working sense in working without attachment are certainly superior. You should thus perform a prescribed duty since your action is superior to inaction. By ceasing activity, even your bodily maintenance will not be possible. Work must be done as yajna to the Supreme Lord, otherwise work causes bondage in this material world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, for satisfaction of God, perform your prescribed duty without being attached to the results. In the beginning of creation, Brahma created the human kind along with duty and said, prosper in the performance of this yajna, for they shall bestow upon you all you wish to achieve. By your sacrifice, the celestial gods will be pleased, and by cooperation between human and celestial god, grace prosperity will reign for all. Mm. The celestial gods, being satisfied by the performance of sacrifice, will grant to the desired necessities of all. But those who enjoy what is given to them without making an offering in return are verily thieves. The spiritually minded people who eat food to fatigue that is first offered as sacrifice are released from all kinds of sin. Others who cook food for their own enjoyment where they eat, since all living beings subsist on food, grains, and food is produced by the rains. And rain comes from the performance of sacrifice, and performance sacrifice is produced by the performance of prescribed duties. The duties of human beings are described even without manifested by God Himself. Therefore, all pervading Lord is eternally present in the acts of sacrifice. O Parth, those who do not accept responsibility in the cycle of sacrifice established by the Vedas are sinful. They live only for the delight of their senses. Indeed, their lives are in vain. But those who rejoice in self, who are illumined, fully satisfied in the self, for them there is no duty. Such realize souls having nothing to gain or lose, either in discharging or renouncing their duties, nor do they need to depend on other living beings to fulfill their interest. Giving up attachment perform matter of duty because we are working without being attached to the fruit one attains to the supreme. By performing these prescribed duties, King Janak and others attain perfection. You should also perform the prescribed duties. Set an example of good of the world. Whatever actions great person perform, common people follow. Whatever standards they set, all world pursues. There is no duty for me to do in all these three worlds, O Parth, nor do I have anything to gain or obtain. Yet I am engaged in the prescribed duty, for if I do not carefully perform this prescribed duty, O Parth, all men would follow my path in all respect. If I cease to perform prescribed actions, all these words would perish. would be responsible for pandemonium that would prevail and would thereby destroy the peace of human race. As ignorant people perform their duty with attachment to the results of Sayana Bharat, so should the wise act without attachment for the sake of leading people to the right path. The wise should not create a discord in the intellect of ignorant who are attached to the primitive action by inducing them to stop or rather by performing the prescribed duty in an enlightened manner. They should inspire the ignorant and also to do their prescribed duties. All activities are carried by three modes of material nature, but in ignorance, the soul deluded by the false identification of the body thinks itself as the doer. Almighty Arjun, a living person distinguishes soul as distinct from gunas and karmas. The perceive it only the gunas in shape of senses, mind, and others that move along with the other gunas in shape of the object of perception, thus do not get entangled with in them. For those who are deluded by three gunas, result, but the wise who understand this truth should not unsettle them, such as ignorant people who are know very little, performing all duty and all work as an offering unto me, constantly meditating on me as supreme, become free from desire and selfishness. With your mental grief departed, fight. Those who abide by these teachings with profound faith and free from envy are released from the bondage of karma. But those who find faults in with my teaching, being bereft of knowledge and devoid of discrimination, they discard these principles and bring about their own ruin. Even the wise people act according to their own nature. For all living beings are proper by the natural tendency. What will one gain by repression? The senses are naturally experience attachment and aversion to the sensual object, but do not get controlled by them, for they are way later than foes. It is far duty to perform one's natural prescribed duty, they tingled with fall, than to perform another prescribed duty to perfectly. In fact, it is preferable to die with the discharge of one duty than to follow the other path which is fraught with danger. Arjun said, why is a person impelled to commit sinful act even unwillingly as if by force of descendant of Vishnu? It is a lust which is born contact of mode of passion and it transforms into anger. Know this as sinful or devouring enemy in the world. This is fire is covered by smoke, a mirror is covered by dust, and a mirror is concealed by womb. Similarly, one's knowledge gets routed by desire. The knowledge, even of the most discerning, gets covered with perceptual and in form of insatiable desire, which is neither satisfied and burns like fire. O son of Kunti, senses, mind, intellect are set to the beating ground of desire. Through them it clouds one knowledge and dilutes the embodied soul. Therefore, O best of Bharatas, in the very beginning, when the senses under control, and slay this enemy called desire, which is embodiment of sin and destroys knowledge and realization. The senses are superior to the gross body and superior to senses mind. Beyond mind is the intellect, and beyond the intellect is the soul. This knows the soul to be superior to the material nature, O mighty armed Arjun, subdue the lower self, sense, mind, intellect by the higher self, the strength of the soul, and kill this formidable enemy called dust. So I woke up like 3 o'clock something and I feel sleepy. And I forgot all the habit of reading all these books I used to read. Hmm. The next chapter is the yoga of knowledge and discipline of action. Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Grab something, coffee, and then we're going to start with chapter number 4. started chapter 4, the Gyan Yoga. I think this is the Gyan Karma, Yoga, knowledge and discipline action. I'm also learning while reciting these, what I feel. So I might just to call it coffee or something. The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna said, it's taught, I taught this eternal science of Yukta Sangha to Vashwin, who passed it to Manu. And Manu in turn instructed it to Shivaku. O subduer of enemies. The saintly kings thus received his science of yoga in continuous tradition, but with long passage of time it was lost to the world. The same ancient knowledge of yoga, which is supreme secret, I am today revealing unto you, because you are my friend as well as a devotee. You can understand this transcendental wisdom. I just said, you were born much after Vashvin. I have to understand that in the beginning, just to give science on to give science to him. Both you and I had plenty of births and many births. Wherein you have forgotten them, but while I remember them all. Parantapa. Although I am unborn, Lord of all living entities, and I have an imperishable nature, yet I appear in this world by the virtue of you, my divine power. Meaning, whenever the decline rushes and increasing rushes, so that time I manifest myself on the earth to protect the righteous, to annihilate the wicked, and to reach consciousness with harm. I appear this earth age after it with those who understand the nature of my birth and activities. In order to know about leaving the body, do not take the birth again, but come to my eternal reward. Attachment, fear, and inconvenience. Because my being free from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me, and taking refuge in me, but in the past have become purified of me by the knowledge of me, and thus attain my divine love. In whatever way people surrender unto you, unto me, I reciprocate accordingly. Everyone follows my path, knowingly or unknowingly, for son of Pritha. In this world, those desiring of material worship, celestial gods, and material rewards manifest quickly. The four categories of emotions created by me according to the people's qualities and activities. All in favor of this system in humanity and non-dual and eternal. Activity do not tell me, nor do I desire the fruit of action. One who knows me in this way is never bound by karmic reactions or work. Knowing this truth, can see the liberation and shall dance perform actions. Therefore, following the footsteps of those ancient sages, you should too perform this duty. What is action and what is inaction? Even the wise are confused in determining this. Now I explain not to unto you the secret of action, by knowing which you also from material body. You must understand the nature of all three. Wrong action and inaction, the truth of both these profound difficult to understand. Those see action and inaction that will be wise know the performing all kind of action, the yogi, the master of essence, the enlightened sages. All those person wise reactions to familiar of material and the bond reactions of working the fire of divine since person having the attachment to the fruit of action are always satisfied and not dependent on external thing. They do not do anything at all. Transformation the mind, intellect, fully absorbed body, incarnation, and even performing kind of actions by their body, content with whatever gain comes. Its own are called free from envy, they are beyond dualities of life. In future, they are not bound by the action even in all kinds of activity. Free from the bondage of material attachment and intellect. So they perform all actions in sacrifice to the God. They are free from all karma. For those who are completely absorbed in God control, oblation is Brahman, the manner with which it is offered is Brahman, and the act of offering is Brahman. The sacrificial fire is also Brahman. Such person, everything is God. Energy attains them. Some yogis worship celestial gods in material offering onto the material worship. Quickly offers self sacrifice the fire of supreme Brahman, just of hearing others and sacrifice and fire of sacrifices to others. Some other objects of sacrifice and senses and senses and told mind some offer wealth as sacrifice, some other offer civil activities as sacrifice. Some practice eightfold yoga practices and yet others study scriptures and cultivate knowledge as sacrifice. While observing strict laws, still other for others offer as sacrifice of the outward in the income, while some offer the income breathing to the outward, some arduously practice pranayama and distinct incoming and outward breath purely absorbed. No the life and yet others curtail food intake and offer breath life and all those ones who have cleansed of impurity as well. Those who know the secret of being with partake of eternal. Not to advance but the absolute the best of the Gurus. Who have no sacrifice, find no happiness either in this world, mother. All no sacrifices which has been described in Vedas, know them as originating from different kind of work. Do with this understanding, cuts the non-knowledge of material bondage. Of subdue of enemy sacrifices performed in knowledge is superior to any mechanical material sacrifice. After all path, all sacrifices of work culminate in knowledge. Learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him with the reference and render service unto him. United should get impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Following this path, having this enlightened by Guru Arjuna, no longer fall into delusion. In the light of that knowledge, we will see that all living beings are but part of Supreme and are within me. Even those who are considered the most remarkable of everything across this ocean of material system are sitting themselves on the boat of knowledge. As a kindled fire reduces wood to ashes, or settles fire of knowledge burnt ashes all result of material activity. This world is not as purifying as divine knowledge. For one who has attained purity of mind through prolonged practice, knowledge in the heart and deep force of time. Those whose faith is deep, who have practiced controlling mind and senses attain divine, who touch transcendental knowledge, they quickly attain everlasting peace. Peace, no knowledge. Who are doubting natures and further down for a skeptical soul, there is no happiness either in this life nor the next. Or in action will not bind those who renounce karma in the higher field. Whose doubt has been dispelled by the knowledge. Who are situated in the knowledge of the self. Now cut aside the doubt that has origin in your heart. Asana Bharat, establish yourself in karma. Arise, stand up and take action. So you sleep and relax for a while and then start for 5. Thanks.